right, everybody, welcome back. Today, we're going to do a deep dive on something pretty incredible.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it is. I'm really excited for this one. So, the vaquita.
The vaquita.
Ever heard of them?
Oh, yeah, I have.
They're these tiny little porpoises.
Yeah.
And, I mean, T-I-N-Y.
Like, how tiny are we talking?
Like the size of a kiddie pool.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Wow.
I know. They've got this, like, adorable permanent smile on their face.
Oh.
I know. And these super cool dark rings around their eyes.
I've seen pictures. They're very striking.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. They're hanging on by a thread.
I've heard that they're
Yeah.
critically endangered, right?
Yeah. In
Yeah.
the Gulf of California. And, like, we've got to figure out why.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Fewer than 10 are left.
Oh, my God.
Which is just mind-blowing.
It is quite alarming.
Yeah.
What makes it even more tragic is that their home, the Gulf of California, is like bursting with life.
I know. It's beautiful there.
It's a biodiversity hotspot. Yeah. Recognized globally for its incredible variety of species.
Wow.
But that delicate balance is threatened, and the vaquita is right at the heart of it.
Okay, so let's dive into what makes the vaquitas so unique.
All right.
They only grow to about 5 feet long,
That's it.
which makes them incredibly vulnerable.
Yeah.
Especially to things like...
Getting caught in those huge fishing nets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They live for around 20 years.
Yeah. Yep.
Communicate with clicks and whistles.
Really?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I know. And they usually stick together in small groups.
Oh, so they're social.
Yeah, they're like the introverts of the ocean.
That's a great way to put it. And their social nature is actually another factor that makes them susceptible to these fishing nets.
Oh, tell me more about that.
So we're talking about gillnets, mainly used to catch shrimp and fish,
Okay.
but they're indiscriminate.
Yeah.
Imagine a wall of netting, just invisible in the murky water.
Oh, wow.
A vaquita's using its echolocation to navigate and find food, suddenly bumps into this wall and becomes entangled.
No.
They can't break free, and tragically, they drown.
It's heartbreaking. I mean, I know conservation efforts are happening.
Yeah.
Our sources mention bans on these gillnets in the vaquita's habitat.
Right?
But honestly, are these bans enough?
Yeah.
What's the real story on the ground?
Well, it's complicated.
Yeah.
Enforcement is a huge challenge. You
Uh-huh.
got to consider that many people in the area rely on fishing for their livelihoods.
Of course.
So there's economic pressure to continue using gillnets,
Yeah.
even if it's illegal.
Wow.
Plus, some of the alternative fishing gear, which is designed to minimize bycatch,
Okay.
it can be expensive
I
or
see.
difficult to use with existing boats.
Right.
So even though these alternative methods exist,
Mhm.
things like traps and hook and line fishing,
Okay.
getting people to adopt them is a slow process.
I see what you mean. It's not just about creating laws. It's about changing habits,
Exactly.
finding solutions that work for both people and the environment.
That's the goal.
But if we zoom out for a second,
Okay.
what happens if the vaquita disappears?
Oh.
Does it really matter in the grand scheme of things?
It absolutely matters.
Okay.
Think of it like a puzzle.
Okay.
You remove one piece,
Yeah.
and the picture becomes incomplete.
Right.
The vaquita plays a crucial role in the Gulf's food web.
Interesting.
They help control populations of certain fish and squid,
Makes sense.
which in turn affects other species.
Wow.
Losing the vaquita could trigger a cascade of effects,
Really?
potentially throwing the entire ecosystem off balance.
So we've got this critically endangered animal
Right.
facing extinction because of human actions.
Sadly.
Yet most people have never even heard of the vaquita.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't.
Why is that? Is it just flying under the radar?
I think it's a combination of factors.
Okay.
The vaquita is elusive and lives in a very specific region.
Okay.
There's also limited research and media coverage compared to more iconic endangered species,
Like what?
like pandas or elephants,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
And honestly, the more people know about a species, the more they tend to care.
That's true.
Lack of awareness makes it harder to rally support for conservation efforts.
So what kind of legal protections are in place? I mean, there has to be something.
Right. The vaquita is listed as critically endangered on the IUCN Red List,
Okay.
which is like a global alarm bell.
Gotcha.
There are laws protecting them in Mexico and internationally, banning the sale and trade of vaquita products.
That's
But, as we've discussed,
Yeah.
laws alone are not enough.
right.
What's needed is consistent enforcement,
Yeah.
collaborative efforts with fishing communities to transition to sustainable practices,
Okay.
and, frankly, greater public pressure to hold everyone accountable.
It feels like a lot is riding on getting this right.
It really does.
Not just for the vaquita, but for the future of the Gulf of California.
Definitely.
So what can you, our listener, actually do?
Yeah.
because this whole conversation has me ready to take action.
That's the spirit. You can support organizations working on the ground
Okay.
to protect the vaquita and their habitat.
Yeah,
You can choose to buy seafood from sustainable sources.
good idea.
Advocate for stronger policies to protect endangered species.
Okay.
Even simply spreading the word about the vaquita story helps raise awareness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And here's something to think about.
Okay.
If a creature as unique and important as the vaquita can be on the brink of extinction without most people even knowing,
Yeah.
what else are we missing?
Right.
What other hidden gems of the natural world are out there in desperate need of our attention before it's too late?
That's a great question to ponder.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
And we'll see you next time for another deep dive.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.